Hogwarts Legacy just posted videos showing us each of the 4 incredibly detailed house common rooms. And today, I'm going to be breaking them down in depth for every little detail that you might have missed. Starting with Gryffindor, because contrary to the blue profile picture, I am in fact a proud Gryffindor. In the first shot off to the right, you can see a trophy case, because Gryffindors are the best at Quidditch. And you can also see the entrance hole. At the very end of the shot, you can see the windows seen here, meaning that this staircase is right off of the main common room accessed through this tunnel. At the beginning of the shot, you can see this student off to the left doing something, maybe hiding. In the very next shot, we can see a statue of a lion down on this table. Later in the shot, we get a look at this beautiful stained glass window, and the words translate to "be of good courage." And on the left, we can see a Quidditch player. If they drop this mini Quidditch hints and don't add it into the game, I might get mad. In the next shot, this guy off to the left reacts to us by waving. He's not looking at us, but at least it's some sort of interaction. Later in the shot, we see the fat lady, and she opens up, revealing that there's an entrance hole to the common room, just like in the books, which is actually a really cool detail. And in case you're wondering how going in and out will work, my guess is that it will be some sort of preset animation, just like this one in the Unreal Engine 5 showcase. Basically, he'll just crawl in and you'll be able to go forward and you'll be able to go backwards. And then once you get to the end or back out, he'll just get out and you'll regain control, basically. Next up, we get easily, in my opinion, the best shot we've got from Hogwarts Legacy so far. I mean, are you kidding? This is literally amazing. Okay, back to the Missable details. We get a closer look at the trophy case, and we can see 2 bludger bats on the sort of counter there. Cool little detail. And off to the left, you can see this pet cage with a little white dot above it, so I'm assuming you can take your pet and put it in any of these cages. Off to the right, we can see a deck of what appears to be exploding snap cards. This is an absolutely incredible detail. Also off to the left, we can see a quill bottle and feather. A little bit later on in the shot, we can see this golden snitch sort of flitting about the room, and you can also see it in this shot from the gameplay reveal. So I guess it just sort of flies around the room repeatedly, which is kind of cool. And on the right, you can also see 2 stone lions. And to be honest, I think my only complaint with this entire common room is how far away the couch is from the fire. Move it closer, add chairs, all of that. I think that'd really improve this space, having more emphasis on the fire. That's the only thing. They may change that for release. But yeah, moving on. We're about 3 minutes in right now, and I haven't gotten through Gryffindor. So if we want to get through all of these, I'm gonna have to speed up just a bit. This next shot actually shows us a bit of how interactions will work. We see a white dot. When the player gets close, it turns into a button, in this case square, and then the player pulls out their wand and uses a spell to spin the globe. And we also see a white dot above this chest off to the left, so it isn't interactable. These chests are actually super interesting. I'll talk more about them a bit later. We also see this box off to the left, which looks like it might be for sweets. Hard to tell though. Okay, on to the next shot. We see a poster for the Chudley Cannons, and we also see a bunch of plaques in the background. Later on in this shot, we see 2 paintings of Quidditch players. However good Retroraconteur's sources might have been, I have a feeling that they might have been wrong. Would they really put this many Quidditch hints into the game if you couldn't play Quidditch? Because if they did, that'd be brutal. As it turns out, they don't care. They just dropped this on FAQ. No Quidditch. Which is fine, I expected that, but I really didn't want it. I really did not want this announcement. I really wanted to play Quidditch so badly. This is probably the most disappointed I've been over Hogwarts Legacy since it was, ever, actually. Yeah. I mean, I'll recover, but it's gonna be a process. Therapy will be involved. But I can't let my Quidditch sorrows stop us from getting through these Missable details. So moving on, this is the last shot of the Gryffindor video. It's a great shot, but we don't really see anything new. So I'm gonna move on. Next up is Ravenclaw. And before we finish breaking down all of these common rooms, I don't usually ask for this, but these videos take a lot of time and creative effort to make. So if you're still watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing, please consider subscribing. With that said, moving on. In the first shot off to the left, we can see a statue of Ravenclaw herself, and on top of her head, we can see her diadem. At the end of the shot on the bottom right, there is an instrument, which a quick Google search told me is a lute. There are actually 2 major points of interest in this shot. The first one is the flue flame off to the left. This confirms common rooms do have flue flames, meaning that if all flue flames are connected, you could go straight from your common room to Hogsmeade or anywhere else in the game. The second major point of interest is this chest right here. Remember earlier when I told you that these were super interesting? The interesting thing is that there are at least one of these featuring the house symbol in each and every common room. Later on in this shot, and I gotta give credit to this random person on Discord for finding this one, because I probably wouldn't have found it by myself, we can see these two suits of armor standing guard by the staircase. Normally I wouldn't have thought anything of it, but later in the video we can see these same knights lower their halberds to block us from entering that stairway. This person on Discord theorized that the staircase leads to the girls' dorm. This also explains why there aren't suits of armor standing guard over the other staircase. In the books, Ron and Harry couldn't enter the girls' dorm, but Hermione could enter the boys' dorm. Apparently guys are sus and cannot be trusted. In the next shot, you can see this painting of Hogwarts off to the left, and this painting was also shown in the behind the scenes. This next shot is a bit of a weird one. We can see this staircase going up to somewhere, but there doesn't seem to be a tower or anything that we can see through the skylight, so I'm not sure where this is going, but yeah, it's there. We see another one of these spinny interactable globe things, and those were all the interesting missable details in the Ravenclaw common room, at least the ones that I saw, so let's move on to Hufflepuff. In this shot off to the left, we can see a portrait of Helga Hufflepuff. Here is where we see that house-themed chest I was talking about earlier. In this shot to the left, we can see a painting of fruit, which is probably the entrance to the kitchens. Here, right before the player enters the common room, we can see something glowing off to the right. Some people said it looks like a Patronus, but the coloring isn't right. Patronuses are generally a bluish white color. In this shot off to the left, we can see a ghost who appears to be the Fat Friar, who is the house ghost for Hufflepuff. Here we get a closer look at the Friar. In this shot, we can see two portraits of Quidditch players, which we may be able to watch in cutscenes, who knows. You know, I'm still salty about that. I've not gotten over it. In this shot to the right, we can see the Hufflepuff's Floo Flame, and those are all the missable details for Hufflepuff, so let's move on to the last one, which is Slytherin. In this shot, we can see two big images of people on the walls. I'm honestly not sure who these people are, maybe important Slytherins. In this shot, we can see a statue of what appears to be a mermaid. In this next shot, we can see a wizarding chess set, which is playing itself. In this shot, we can see a statue of someone who must be Salazar Slytherin. On the shelf, we can see an interesting assortment of items, including but not limited to a crystal ball, a bottle of Skelegro, if that's how you pronounce that, and an egg, which might be a dragon's egg. And that was 50 missable details in Hogwarts Legacy common room trailers. That video was actually super difficult to do for some reason. And if you guys did enjoy this, please subscribe. It's a great way to help out the channel. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.